Hey everybody, it's Red Panda Gamer here for another exciting edition of Player Pass, the review show where I play a game for a little while and I tell you what I think of it. In today's very special episode, we're going to be playing The Great Gatsby for NES. This is a free-to-play browser-based game. It is on Steam Greenlight, but the developer himself said he probably won't be adding anything new to the game, so it would literally just be a free-to-play version that you could download onto Steam. I'll put a link in the description below to that. But I also just kind of wanted to talk a bit about this game because the Great Gatsby is one of my favorite books of all time, and they are about to release the film The Great Gatsby, being made by Baz Luhrmann, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Tobey Maguire. I guess I kind of just am in a Great Gatsby mood, and I've played this game. This game's been around for quite a while, and I just think it's an interesting game to cover. There will be a link in the description below to where you can find and play it. It's a pretty cool game. It's a NES-style game. I guess the closest thing I can compare it to is like Mega Man style almost. But it really does feel like one of those really, really well-made licensed games. Like, I really do almost imagine this being real. It stays true to its 8-bit roots. You know, it doesn't just take liberties and use that 8-bit graphic style. It's a bona fide piece of printed matter. It fooled me. This fella's a regular Belasco. It's a triumph. What thoroughness, what realism, knew when to stop. Two didn't cut the pages. But what do you want? What do you expect? Look for Gatsby in the garden. Okay. So the game has snippets of actual game dialogue, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously, we play through the game as Nick Carraway, who is going to be played by Tobey Maguire in the newest movie, and was played by Paul Rudd, I think, in the movie that was in 2004. You see, we get these golden hats, which basically allows us to throw our hat much, much farther, and I believe it also does more damage. There's a nice little music in the background. I don't actually know what the song is supposed to be. The opening song reminds me a lot of the song from Singing in the Rain, I believe, that they sing together from the Dueling Cavalier. I don't know if you guys have any idea what I'm talking about right now. But anyway, I love The Great Gatsby. As I said, it's one of my favorite books, and I feel like it's never gotten like a good movie version of it. And a lot of people are asking if I think the new one's going to be good. Well, I'm not a fan of Baz Luhrmann in the slightest. I can't stand any of his work. Romeo plus Juliet was really annoying to me. I don't really like Moulin Rouge. I will admit he's got a really good style. Like, that's undeniable. But I really just don't like the content of its films. Now, I'm going to see it still because, as I said, I am a huge fan of Gatsby. I love the way this room looks, by the way. I love the way all the rooms look. They're designed really well. The martini glasses, by the way, are health, but we are already at full health, so. We're also collecting money, and once you get to 100 coins, just like Mario, you get a 1-up. Got these butlers. There's actually a pretty good variety of enemies between the butlers. Oh, this is Gatsby, of course. Good job, old sport. Thanks! So it was pretty easy. The levels, this isn't really meant to be a challenge. It's really more just for people who are fans of Great Gatsby and people who are fans of video games. So this is obviously the infamous green light scene. I feel like they put it on Steam Greenlight just for the joke of the fact of the green light in the game. Wah! So I feel like it's interesting how well this game actually works in a video game setting. Valley of Ashes. So, yeah, I'm really not at all... Yeah, remember when they were on the train fighting conductors? So when you get hit, you lose your gold status, but it's okay because it's not necessarily imperative that you have it. But I am taking a lot of stupid damage. Of course, birds in any platforming games are always the bane of your existence. We got our gold hat back already. So... I guess I really just wanted to do this just so I could talk about The Great Gatsby and complain about the new movie for a while. I was thinking about waiting till it came out so that I could actually talk about it over that, but I really thought that would just be pointless and most people wouldn't care to hear about that. But as I said, Great Gatsby really is my favorite book of all time, and I'm really bummed that the movie that's going to be coming out is probably going to be a disappointment. Who knows, maybe it'll be good, and I will totally admit it, but I also, after seeing the trailer so many times, think it'll be awful. So I actually think this is a really cool, inventive boss scene. If you've never read The Great Gatsby... Well, first of all, if you've never read The Great Gatsby, you really should go do that. And you're probably not in high school, or you are in high school, and you just read Spark Notes. So that's the infamous bulletin... Not bulletin, I'm sorry. What's the word? I can't think of the word. Another famous scene from the book. Billboard. I'm sorry. The billboard with the glasses is pretty infamous. And they turned it into a boss battle, which I think is pretty cool. So I believe this was just made by one dude, and it's kind of funny because when it first was shown off, I think this has been around for almost 3 years now. Maybe it was 2011. It was presented more as a prototype cartridge that the guy found, and there's like a whole backstory behind it. And it seems like the internet believed it because I found a lot of articles that were back to about the time this game came out. People saying, oh, someone found this, this, and this. Like it was a localization of another game, which I actually thought was kind of funny. Just because people believed it. Let's see. I think I've had enough of this 2-bit town. A girl's got to jump down the sewer to find a drink around here. Good night, Mr. Caraway. See you anon. More actual dialogue from the game, or from the book. But yeah, if you've never read The Great Gatsby, I really recommend you do. Even if you don't like reading books, which honestly I don't. I really do not like reading books very much, but I have read The Great Gatsby several times, and like outside of school, of course. In fact, when I was supposed to read for school, I really wasn't that into it, mostly because I hate reading for school. It feels so forced. Oh, almost got hit there. Don't forget the gold. And I really do love The Great Gatsby, and I'm gonna be really bummed when I see the movie, and I'm probably just gonna hate it, especially as a film major. Alright, so now we come down in the sewer, because you remember this part in Great Gatsby, right? But you know, it's stuff like this that makes it seem more like a game, which is totally welcome for me. This really is just something made for people who are fans of The Great Gatsby, in my opinion. I mean, anyone can get enjoyment out of this. But yeah, I mean, I am gonna be seeing the movie. I'm probably not going to enjoy it, and I do love The Great Gatsby. I thought originally when I wanted to do a video on this, I was like, oh cool, you know, it's on Steam Greenlight, so maybe they're going to add additional content. But unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case. In fact, he responded to a thread on his Greenlight page saying that he'd rather just make a new game altogether than pad out his game so that it could, you know, appease to people, which is, I think that's fair. You know, it's already a browser-based game. Why bother putting it on Steam also, especially when there's so many other really great games on Steam Greenlight. However, this is still better than a lot of the stuff on Steam Greenlight. This is a really authentic NES feeling game. This is actually a really, I feel like the boss fights are so inventive. This is Wolfshire, I believe his name is. I apologize, I know I was just saying how much I love it, but I always have trouble remembering his name, but I believe it's Wolfshire, and the joke behind the fact that you're fighting a baseball team is the fact that he was supposedly the person that set up the White Sox throwing the World Series, pretty famously, too, at that. So I thought that was a really cool boss fight. I feel like the glasses was a little bit more of an obvious boss battle, and I thought it was kind of cool that they throw this in there, too. And obviously I'll have a link in the description below. Obvious spoilers, too. If you've never read The Great Gatsby and you don't want the movie to be spoiled for you, probably don't want to pay too much attention to this. Especially the ending of this game. Oh, like this, actually. But, you know, it's an old book, and most people read it in high school. It's a story most people are familiar with, so. So this is actually the last level in the game. Like I said, it's a short fan piece that I really feel like is just a love letter to the book and to the 8-bit era of video games. And another thing that I really like, and like I said, I'll have a link to this game in the description below. One of the things that's cool beyond the actual game itself is just the story of it, like the guy who basically said that he found this prototype, and you know, the story behind it and all that. I think stuff like that adds a lot of intrigue to the game as well, just beyond the spectacle of an 8-bit Great Gatsby game. Alright, so this... oh, shit. Like, I actually wish that I would totally play like an hour-long game like this. So, obviously this is the end of the game. Pretty symbolic, if you're familiar with Great Gatsby. I just wanted to kind of do something for the fact that the new Great Gatsby movie is coming out this week and kind of just say my piece on it. Great Gatsby is one of my favorite books of all time. If you've never read The Great Gatsby, you really should. Especially, even if you don't like books, you'll probably still enjoy it. It's not a very long book, and then you can play this game. Gatsby believed in the green light, the orgastic future that that year by year recedes before us. It eluded us then, but that's no matter. Tomorrow we will run faster, stretch out our arms farther, and one fine morning, so we beat on. Boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. I love it. So yeah, I just figured I'd do a nice little video on this game. I really like it a lot. If you guys want to check it out, it's in the description below. Sorry for the shorter video, but I just figured I'd say my piece on the matter. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.